So last time we had seen data structures, inserting an element from an array, deleting an element from an array, and traversing an array by using a normal program and also by using the pointers. So what is a pointer? A pointer is a variable which stores the address of another variable. So today we are going to see pointer arrays. So what do you mean by array? Now, like you know that array consists of same data items. So suppose an integer array is there, then all the elements will be of type integer. Suppose the array is of type float, then all the values or elements in the array will be of type float or double or so on. So what you can tell about pointer arrays? So it is just the same. The only thing is that in this array, all the elements will be pointers. So when all the elements in the array are pointers, then it is called a pointer array. So we'll just see the example of pointer array. So usually this question is asked in the exam for 3 marks. What do you mean by pointer array? Give with an example. So see, we have just seen now, array is called pointer array if each element of the array is a pointer. So what is a pointer? It stores the address of another variable. So they are used to facilitate the processing of the information in the array. Variable is called a pointer variable if it points to another variable. That is, it contains the memory address of other variable. So we have seen pointers before. So the pointer doesn't contain the value, it contains the address of another variable. Now we'll just consider one example that how we can use the pointer array. Now you can consider our college. We are dividing the students into 4 groups. Now science stream is there, so you know that there are 4 divisions in our college, like C division, D division, E and F. So how they are divided? So they are dividing according to the subjects. Now suppose C division is there, so all the students in C division, they will be having bifocal course, either computer, electronics, mechanical, electrical or scooter motor. Similarly, suppose D division is there, then the criteria is there that if Marathi subject is there, then those students will be there in D division along with PCMB. Similarly for E, if Hindi subject is there along with PCMB, then that student will go in E division. Now suppose F division is there, so in this German, Sanskrit or IT subject is there along with PCMB. So like this, 4 different classifications the college has done: C division, D division, E division and F division for science. Similarly for commerce and arts. So we are dividing the students into 4 groups where each group contains an alphabetized list of names having particular subjects. Now here they are in alphabetic, but your are according to your roll number. That is 22051, 22052. Like this, the roll numbers are there. So we'll just consider that they are according to your alphabets. Okay. So list of 4 groups are there. Now we are just assuming for example purpose that C division, suppose it is having 100 students. We are assuming that only 3 students are there in C, 4 in D, 3 in E and 4 in F. Okay. So there are 14 students and the group contains 3, 4, 3 and 4 students respectively. So if this question is asked from the exam, then you have to write, draw the diagram. You can give any example of your own and you have to write all these things. Then only you can get full 3 marks. So 4 groups are there, or you can name it by divisions also. So if these groups are to be represented in memory, the question is there, what is meant by pointer arrays and how they are represented in memory. Then the efficient way is to use 2 arrays. So 2 parallel arrays we are going to use. So see, now the first array is called student array. Now in this array, what we are going to keep? All the names of students from C division, D, E and F. So one array we are going to use for storing consecutively. Now first suppose 3 students of C, then below that 4 of D, then 3 of E and 4 of F. So like this, in the array called student array, we are going to store this 14 students according to the alphabetic name in sequence one by one after C, D, E and F. So one by one you are going to store. Now second array, what we are going to do? See, we are going to use two arrays here. Now the second array, what will be that? Now suppose the name of that array is group array, pointer array. Now what this pointer array is there? Now all of you know that what do you mean by pointer? A pointer is a variable which stores the address of another variable. So what we are going to store in the pointer array? So all the elements in this pointer array should be of type pointers. That means they should be holding some address of some variable and not values. So what this pointer array will do? It will store the starting address of each group in a student array. So what do you mean by starting address? Now suppose in C division the first student name is Aryan. So he will be having some address in memory. So the first address of the first student, so that will be stored in the pointer array called group array as the first location. And then what you are going to store for the second group, again the first location address will be stored. Same way for the third, first location, and for the fourth group, first location, first element we are going to store. Now see, you have to draw this in the exam for giving the example. Now see, two arrays are there. This is one array. Like all of you know, array, the elements are stored in consecutive memory location. The name I have just given is student array. And one array, I have forgotten to give the name here. You can just give the name student array to this array. Now see, the first three I purposefully given different colors. Now this is for C division, this is for D division, E division, and F division. So in this array, see, three students from this 4, 3, 4. So like this, all the students are stored in one particular array. So they are stored in consecutive memory locations. They are of the same type. That means they are of character type. So all of them are stored, and the last one is end. That means this will indicate that this is the end of the array. Now see what I am stored in the pointer array. So this is also there in consecutive memory location. But in the first location, I have stored the address of the first student. That is, suppose the roll number is there of this student. So that address I am going to store in the first location of the pointer array. So I am not going to store the value, but I am going to store the address. So address means what? A pointer variable. So that address of the first I am going to store. In the second, I am going to store the address of the D division first student. Here, first student of E division, first student of F division, and this is the last. Okay, so like this, two different arrays are there. One is called student array, in which all the names of the students of each division consecutively they are according to the alphabetic order. I have just entered into the array. And whereas in the pointer array, which consists nothing of the pointers, I am just storing the address of the first student. Now suppose roll number 1 is there in C division. The address of that location I am storing in the first position. In the second, address of the first of D division I am storing here, E and F. And finally, the last location, that is, it is the indicate that this is the end of that array. So by doing this, what will happen? Now suppose you want to trace all the students of D, then you know the starting address of D. So you can directly go here, because you know that the second element is uh, having the address of the first location of D. Okay. Suppose you want all the students in E division, then directly you can go to the third location, and starting from that number, you can search or do whatever things that you want. Okay. So two arrays are there. So pointer array, first you have to write what do you mean by pointer array. Even if you write the one point, a variable is called a pointer variable if it points to another variable. And basically if you write an array is called pointer array if each element of the array is a pointer. If you write these two lines, even then you will get 1 mark. And the remaining 2 marks are for the diagram and the explanation. See, this is just one explanation. You can give your own explanation also. You can select any example, write down 4 groups and show 2 groups, show the links properly with arrows and write down the names of the arrays. Now this I have not written. This is a student array. This is a pointer array. And you can just show it that how these two are linked. So each element of group array is a pointer. So here each element is a pointer which holds the starting address of different groups. Hence it is called a pointer array. So all of you understood pointer arrays. Usually this question is asked for 3 marks in the board exam.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we'll move to the next topic of data structures, which is called records. So we have already seen the definition of in the data structure introduction chapter. What do you mean by record? What do you mean by file? What do you mean by group items? What do you mean by elementary items? I hope all of you have gone through it again while seeing the PPT. So questions based on records are usually asked for 3 marks or 4 marks in the question paper. Usually the definition is asked along with an example, or the general question is uh, how can you represent record in memory? So when this question is asked along with the explanation, so usually it is for 4 marks. So we'll just see what do you mean by records. Now basically we'll just see the collection of data are frequently organized into a hierarchy of fields, records, and files. So we have seen in the first lecture what do you mean by fields, what do you mean by records, and what do you mean by files. So the definition of record is that it is a collection of related data items, each of which is called a field or attribute, and a collection of similar records is called a file. So the definition of record actually it is a record may be a collection of non-homogeneous data, that is data items in a record have different data types. Now what do you mean by array? Now array is a collection of homogeneous data item. That means all the data items are of the same type. So when we write non-homogeneous, that means the data types are different in a record. So that is why it is called a collection of non-homogeneous data items. Even if you write these 2 lines, you will get 1 mark definition of record. Now each data item may be a group item. So we had seen this before, composed of sub items called elementary items. Now see, name is a group item. Why? Because it can be further decomposed into 3 more parameters or fields. Like now suppose the name is there. So usually you write your first name, middle name, and last name. So while storing this in a record, so 3 different fields are required. So first name, middle name, last name. Now these are called elementary data items, first name, middle name, last name, because we cannot further divide the first name or middle name or last name into some other things. Name can be divided into 3 possible things, first name, middle name, last name. So name is called a group item. So we had seen this in the first lecture of data structure. What do you mean by group items and what do you mean by elementary items? So first name, middle name, last name are elementary items, whereas name is a group item. Now in record, natural ordering of elements is not there. The data items in a record form a hierarchical structure which can be described by means of level numbers. So basically whenever records is asked, you have to give this by using a example. So in record, natural ordering of elements is not there means what? Now we have seen arrays. So in arrays, we can sort the numbers according to the in ascending order or descending order. We have seen it in bubble sort. So we can sort the data according to the natural ordering of elements. But in records, you cannot do that because the data types are of different data types. So you cannot sort the data. And here hierarchical structure, which can be described by means of level numbers. So level numbers, once I show you the example, then it will become clear to you what do you mean by level numbers. Now we'll just take an example again of college. So suppose a college is there. You can give any example in the while writing the paper. So college keeps record of students. So it contains following data items like name, roll number, name, sex, birth date, address, etc. Now the structure of this record is like this. Now see, I had shown level numbers. So level numbers means what? Now see, one I have written. This is level number one, level number two, level number three, again two, three, two, three. So what these level numbers are there, you will just come to know. Now this is the structure of the record. Now you can assume that the student is an entity which is having some properties. Okay. So we had seen entity in the definitions. Now what do you mean by now the student has got some properties, like say student has got roll number, student has got name, he has got birth date, sex, address. So all these are nothing but properties of the student. Now see, I have written in bracket 50. So what it indicates, that means 50 students are there in which you are going to store the data. Now see, one, this is an entity. So properties of students are roll number, name, sex, birth date, address. I told you. Now we have seen what do you mean by group items and what do you mean by elementary items. Now here the group items are, name is a group item. It is further divided into first name, middle name, last name. So these are nothing but the elementary items. Now again sex, it is not further divided. So it is an elementary item. Similarly, roll number is also an elementary item. Group means what? When it is further divided, that means it is a group item. Similarly, birth date is also a group item because it is divided into day, month, and year. So writing your birth date, you write your day first, then month, then year. So it is divided into three parts. So that is why second level elementary items are there, or group items are there. And whenever it is further divided, then one level inside you have to go. Now see, name is there. Further you go inside, so one more level increases. So this is the third level. Similarly for birth date. Now similarly, suppose you have state, city, another field, pin number in another field. So address is also a group items, and these are the elementary items. So all of you understood this. Student is an entity having some properties like roll number, name, birth date, address, etc. Group items are like name, birth date, address, because they are further divided into sub items which are called elementary items. So these three are elementary. Now identifier student in bracket 50 indicates that there are 50 students. So I told you before, in bracket I write 50. So 50 students are there. The number to the left of each variable indicates level number. So level number I have given here described by means of level numbers. That means what? Whatever identifier is there, before that on the left side, whatever number you give, that indicates the level number. Now suppose 50 students are there. Now you want to access the student number 4. So how to access that? To access the first name or fourth student, we should write student name of that entity in bracket 4. That means 4 student name I want. And each field is there that you have to separate by giving a dot. See, dot name, dot first name. So what will happen? Suppose 50 students data you have entered, roll number, name, and all these details. So if you write this student 4, then what will happen? The fourth number student, that is roll number 4, his name, that is first name, will be displayed. So in this way, we can access variables in records. So usually the question is asked for either 3 marks or 4 marks. If it is asked for 4 marks, then you have to write all these points along with the structure. You can draw any structure. Even if you write up till year also, it will do. No need to add. So hardly 5 to 6 fields if you write, that is also enough. Just write down the structure and explain the structure according to the level numbers. And level numbers also you have to write it like this. See, after 2 there is one tab, or give some space so that it will indicate which is the second level, which is the third level. So it is easier for the examiner to also check your paper. See, this is the first level, second level, third level, again second level, third. So any example of your own you can also write down the structure, and it is very easy to write down the description. Okay, so you have to just write down the definition of record: collection of non-homogeneous data. That means not of the same type. Now difference between record and linear array. So record is what? Collection of fields, non-homogeneous data items. Whereas array is a collection of homogeneous data items. Sometimes this question is asked, what write down the difference between or a definition is asked, what do you mean by record? Write down the difference between record and linear array. So it is very easy to remember. Records are non-homogeneous, whereas array are homogeneous, means what? Of the same data type. So here no, here yes. In array, natural ordering is possible. That means you can sort the data according to the ascending, descending. Whereas in records, it is not possible. Elements of records are referenced by level numbers. Level numbers means like this: 1, 2, 3. So these are level numbers. Whereas arrays, they use subscript or index number. Now suppose array size is 10, the index will be from 0 to 9. So they are called the subscript or index. Elements of the arrays can be referenced by index number of consecutive numbers. So array, they are in consecutive memory locations from 0 to 9. Suppose array size is 10, to 0 to 9 will be the index number or subscript. Now how records are represented in memory? So this question can also be asked for 4 marks. So you have to write the definition of record and how it is represented in memory. So see, records may contain non-homogeneous data. So this is the same definition. The elements of a record cannot be stored on an array. Now consider again, you can take any example. So I again taken the same example. I have just deleted one more, the address part. So student 50 means what? Total 50 numbers of students will be there. So level number 2, roll number is there. Name is a group item. So further divided into elementary items. Similarly, birth date is divided into elementary items. So how we are going to represent this in memory? So same way, pointers question is asked. What do you mean by pointers? How they can be represented in memory? Similarly, records is also there. What do you mean by records? How are they represented in memory? So like this for linked list also and tree also. The same question, actually in question number 4, the B part where it is a 4 marks question. Usually such type of questions are asked related to data structure. Now this structure is there. Now we will see how to represent in memory. To represent this record in memory, linear arrays are used. One separate linear array is used for each elementary item of record. Now see, elementary item of record. Now see here, which are the group items? Name is a group item, birth date is a group items. So here what I mentioned, linear arrays are used. One separate linear array is used for each elementary item of record. I had not written group item and elementary. Only elementary I have written. So that is why you can see that the first elementary item is roll number. Then next is not name because this is a group item. So while writing the records in memory, you have to write only the elementary item and not group item. So roll number is one elementary item. Then first name, middle name, last name are elementary items. Sex is also elementary item. Then day, month, and year. So totally how many elementary items are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8 different arrays we have shown it in memory. So it is very easy for 4 marks. Only you have to write down any structure of your own, show the level values, and just create 4 different arrays. Just write 3 or 4 records in each of the. Now these are parallel arrays. See, one array, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what do you mean by this first line? Now record 1 means what? Now suppose This is the first record. Roll number 1 is first name, middle name, last name, date of year. So all of this single this is called a field. 22051 is called a field. Similarly, Rahul, it is called a field. So collection of all these fields in one row, so that is called a record. Similarly, the next line is again another record, another record, another record. Now here 4 records are there. So collection of all these records is called a file. So we have seen this in the first chapter of data structures. To represent this record in memory, linear arrays are used. One separate linear array is used for each elementary item of record. So while writing the arrays, don't write the group items, else it will be wrong. So just write the name of the elementary items which are further divided. So like this. So you can write any name. Don't write your name. So you can write any random names and just show the records. The records are stored in memory using parallel linear arrays such that for an index L of all records, roll number L, first name L, middle name L, last name belong to the same record in the file. The record in the file. Now L why are written? Now usually while you working with arrays, you use the variable I or j. So same thing I have written here L. That means what will happen? L will vary from 1 to 10. Suppose 10 records are there. So L, suppose this is initially it is 1. So record M name 1. First one will what? Roll number L. So roll number 1. F name 1. M name 1. Last name 1. So all the elements of the index L. Index means what? The subscript of that record. So combination of all these fields, it is called one record. Belong to the same record in a file. That is Lth record in a file. See all these records, when you combine them together, it is a file. So all of you understood this records?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, these are very easy questions. In question number 4, usually they come in the board exam. Either pointer array is there, either records is asked, or either linked list is asked in memory. So this 4 marks question is there. So it is very easy to write. You have to just remember the definition of record, draw any structure, give the level numbers accordingly, and just draw 5 parallel arrays and give some random values to it. Okay. Even if you give 4 arrays and if you write here 4 elementary items, that will also do. No need to write 8. 4 to 5 are enough. Now next we are going to see linked list. So what do you mean by linked list? So actually, like I told you, this question is asked in question number 4. Pointer arrays or records or linked list or tree. Basically, this question is asked in question number 4 for 3 marks or 4 marks. So we'll see what do you mean by linked list. Linked list or one-way list, it is also called. It is a linear collection of data elements called nodes, where the linear order is given by means of pointers. In array, they are usually in subscript, they are in consecutive memory location. But here, by using the pointers, we are going to see how. Now this is another data structure, that how we are going to store the data by using linked list. Now here actually they are stored in nodes. So each node in linked list is divided into 2 parts. First part contains the information about the element or actual element called as info part, and the second part is called as the link field or link part or the next pointer field, which contains the address of the next node in the list. So linked list, 2 parts are there. One is information or the data itself, and one will be the link part, that means the address of the next element. Now this will be clear to you by seeing an example. So usually question is asked, define linked list and write down a linked list by using 6 nodes. So usually the question is asked in the exam, and sometimes they specify the number of nodes, or sometimes they just write that with a suitable diagram explain the linked list. So sometimes the question mostly it is asked that use 6 nodes. Now 6 nodes means what? That these are nodes. This is the first node, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So when specifically they have asked 6 nodes, then write down the name, draw 6 diagrams of nodes and how they are connected. Now see, there is a start, that means the starting address for by which it is going to start. And see, each of the node is connected by using an arrow. So even if you don't show the arrow, then the chances are that you may lose some marks. Now, like I told you, nodes are divided into 2 parts. First part is the data, and the next part is the link or the address of the next node. Now, you see, it is called info and link. Info means information, and link means pointer to the next node. So, in this question, specifically, it was asked show define linked list and show the figure with by using 6 nodes. So, I have just drawn 6 nodes here and given the proper uh, description to each one of them. Now see, these are random data. It can be numbers also, but for showing purpose, I have just used alphabets A, B, C, D, that too in sequence. So it can be anywhere around, not necessary to be there in sequence. And these are nothing but the addresses or location of the next element. Now you can notice this is the first address start, and it is going to the first element. So where this A is stored, it is stored in address 6, or you can just assume that this is the address. So this is stored in the 6th location. Now in this node there are 2 parts, one is the data, one is the address of the next. So address means what? Basically it is a pointer. Pointer is a variable which stores the address of another variable. So in this address, so the link is given, so it will go to this part, and in this will have one more address of the next node. Now this is a node, next node. So what we are storing, we are storing the address. So what will happen? This address, it will point to the next node because B is stored at the this location. So see 8B. Similarly, the next element as address is stored in the previous node. You can see 4. 4 is the location of this. So address is stored here. Similarly, 7 is the address of E, which is stored in the previous element. 9 is the address of S, which is stored in the this node. And finally, X, or you can write null. That indicates the end of the linked list. So when you write small X or null, it indicates the same thing. So that indicates the null. You have to just write one more arrow and just write null here. Okay, so I have forgotten to write that, so you can just draw one arrow here and just write null. Okay, now this figure shows linked list of 6 nodes. See, usually linked list definition, if you write and draw this diagram and write this, so usually the question is asked for 3, sometimes it is asked for 4 marks. So if you don't draw the diagram, the chances are that you may lose 1.5 mark. See, diagram is very easy. You have to just write these blocks, show them arrows, and see that the location is same. If you write any random numbers here and some random numbers here, then you will get no marks. See, 6 is there here. That means address of A. And what is this? It is the address of the next node. See, 855447799. So like this, it should match. If it doesn't match, then you will not get any marks. And you have to show that this is the information, this is the link. Link means what? Pointer to the next node. So this is the data, and one part is the pointer. Then you have to just write the same thing. The left part of node is info, which contains information of the element. Information of the element, that is A, B, C, D, E, F. And the right part is link, which is a pointer field. That is, it points to the next node. Next node address, it is pointing. Arrow is drawn from the link part of one node to the next node to indicate link. So you have drawn the arrow, just write it down as it is. Why you have drawn this arrow? To show the link from one node to another link. The list also requires a variable name or start, which contains location of address of first node. So even if you write this linked list and you don't write the star, again your chances are that you may lose some marks, because this linked list is starting from which address, that is very important. So this start and this x or null, if you don't write, then suppose this diagram is for 1.5 marks, then you may lose half mark for not writing start and x. The list also requires a variable name or start which contains location of addresses of first node. So this is address of first node start, pointer field of last node denoted by null. See this x, last node null, that means it is not going to go any further, which indicates the end of list. So usually question based on linked list definition is asked along with a diagram. So you have to just draw this diagram and just write down what do you mean by info, what do you mean by link, what do you mean by arrows. So no need to learn by heart. If you just remember these things, then you can write in your own sentences also, and see that the diagram is drawn properly with all the labelings. So all of you understood linked list. So you have
Yes,
to
sir.
go through this
Yes, sir.
PowerPoints, whatever I'm going to send, every and read them again and again, because in the exams many such terms are there. So you may forget some if you don't remember them again and again. Now one more question on linked list is how you can represent them in memory. So like I told you in pointers also, what do you mean by pointer array? Our definition of record and how it is represented in memory. Similarly, linked list and how it is represented in memory. So memory representation is also there. So I'll just show you how it is. So same linked list I have here taken. I have just taken 4 nodes here. See here 6 nodes were there. In exam, if specifically nodes are asked either 4, 5, 6, then you have to draw accordingly. If nothing is asked, then take minimum 4 nodes and show the linked list. See again I have shown here linked list, and this is the null pointer, and this is the start. Info link. Info contains the data or information. Link contains the address of the next node. So again here you can just write the same thing. Linked list can be represented in memory by using 2 linear arrays. See like in record we have seen, we had for every elementary item we have taken one parallel array. Similarly there are here for each node there are 2 parts. One is the data part and one is the address part. So we'll take 2 arrays here. So known as info and link. So 2 linear arrays known as info and link, such that info and link contain information of element and next node address respectively. Now see in arrays we are using the usually I or j. So here k what it will indicate first node and first address. So the list also requires a variable name or start, which contains location of addresses of first node. So this we have seen earlier, start, and this is the null pointer. Pointer field of last node denoted by null, which indicates the end of list. Now after you have drawn this linked list and written some description among this, you have to show that how it is stored in memory. So how it is stored in memory, 2 different arrays you have to use, one the information and one the link. Now see, linked list can be represented in memory as links. So usually question is asked for 4 marks, and usually for drawing this linked list and this description, sometimes 2 marks are there, one for the linked list diagram, one for this explanation, and one for drawing this, or 2 marks for showing it in memory. Now see how it is represented. First thing what you have to do, whatever numbers you take here, see 6, 8, see to it that usually these numbers are below 10. Why below 10? Because see, if you take numbers above 10, then you'll have to write that much big array. See the numbers in sequence 1 to 9. So if you take bigger numbers like 12, 15 or 20, then you'll have to draw that many numbers. Okay. So try to take small numbers in say 7, 8, that much only, so that it will be easy for you to show it in memory. Now see 6 is the starting element. It is going to the A. Okay. Now see what you have to do. Just write down 2 blocks of 9 elements. Okay, because here 8 elements are there, so we'll just take one extra. And what you have to do, keep these two blocks empty, write down the sequence from 1 to 9, show the start here 6. Now see this 6 here, what it is shown, it is going to the first, that is A. So how we have to show, from 6 just draw an array to 6, sixth location. Okay, so at the sixth location, what is there, A is there. And what is there, 8 is there in the link part, that means the address of the next node. So when you go from 6 to 6, see, from 6 to 6, you have to store that data or info. A is stored here, and in front of it just write down 8. 8 is what, the link to the next address. Okay, now see 8. Now where this 8 is going, 8 is going and it is storing what, B. So how you have to show this link, see, from 8 just draw a arrow. You can just draw a normal arrow, no need for it to be straight and then here. So directly if you just draw a line from here to B, it will do. See, from 8 go to this 8 location. Now what this 8 location is going to store, B and 5. So just write B and 5 there. Now similarly, now this 5, from 5 to 5 again you have to just draw a line. See, from 5 again go above, just come here, go to that fifth location. Now what this fifth location is going to have, C and 2. So write down C and 2. Now see, what, where this C2 is going, it is going to D. So from 2 again draw a line which will go to D, and this will be the end because this is X stands for null. So in 2 you can just write down D and X. X means the null pointer. So even if you take 4 nodes, linked list can be represented in memory as like this. Now this is the first array called info. This is the second array called link. So 2 arrays are there, and like this you have to show it in